Making money online with AI is a little bit easier than you think. Essentially, there are two pathways when we're talking about making money with AI. Now, the first pathway is being an AI consultant, which is establishing a relationship with a business and discovering where they can improve their business with AI. And then there is actually being the developer, which is not as difficult, but it takes a little bit more knowledge to understand where to find tools and how to navigate that sort of thing. So if you want to make money with AI, the first part and the first thing we're going to talk about is being an AI consultant. Now, what that essentially means, like I said, you're gonna find a vertical, which means an industry or an area where you want or you feel like you're capable to serve. And it could be something that you're just interested in. Now, you can go on to Gemini, which is Google's LLM, and go to the deep research tab, and you can see market trends. You can research all that just with a simple prompt. But remember, when you're prompting, just make sure you tell it that you tell your LLM that you're an industry researcher, and you're trying to discover who is and where are the potential for AI in which markets. What you want to look for when you're looking for a vertical is somebody that's making a lot of content or has a front end lead problem answering service, have a high turnover rate as far as employees go because they're dissatisfied with leadership, all those types of things. Like, AI can solve a ton of problems, but when you're picking a vertical, you want to pick something that it's going to give you some ease into transitioning into that vertical. Now, when you're using AI to pick a vertical, say you established a vertical in the gym space, and gyms, they create a ton of content, they're trying to build leads. Generally, they don't have somebody there answering phones all night, so you can set up an automated answering service. That's a good place to start. I would say the bad thing about gyms is they may not be making a ton of money. Gyms typically, I would say, the profit margins are probably 30% or less. So this might be a good place for you to start, because when you get started, you're not going to charge a whole lot. But pick a spot, pick an industry, use Gemini to help you figure out their current problems. And so you're going to go to Gemini, you're going to pick your industry, you're going to ask Gemini to do the research, perform the research, and then give you the most current problems for that industry. And this is so you can start speaking the language. The ultimate goal is to get them on a discovery call. Okay, so before we get into traffic and how to get traffic, we're going to set up your discovery system. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is your calendar. So you're going to want to go into your Google Suite and build a calendar. When you go into the Google Suite and build your calendar, you're going to want to set your calendar up as a discovery call. And you're going to go in there, you're going to go into the settings, you're going to edit the settings to match your availability. In that way, when you share your calendar, they can only book when you're able to jump on a call. You don't want to have them book a date and then all of a sudden you're unavailable. And so the calendar is going to be super important for you. The next thing that is going to be really important for you to set up is your discovery call script. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to go back into Gemini, and you are going to tell it to create you a 15-minute discovery call script that really, really, really highlights the pain during your discovery call. And so when you get on the discovery call, you're going to want to ask questions that lead to the pain that they're having, or that they're experiencing. And maybe it's, they're not making enough money, they're not getting enough leads, they're spending too much time on creating content that doesn't land. It could be a variety of different things. But when you find and pinpoint the pain that they're having the most, get them to keep talking about that pain. You want to discover how much time exactly, how much money are they losing, what is their cancellation rate, what is that in terms of a dollar value. You want to really dig into the pain, because as an entrepreneur, we're here to solve problems. So it's going to be important for you to be able to solve that specific problem for them. In that way, you create a really good relationship. So when another problem comes up and another problem comes to their attention, then they reach out to you first. Okay? So you have your script, you have your calendar. You're going to need an app. It's called Granola AI. It's free to join, and what it is, you download it on your phone or you download it on your desktop, and this is going to transcribe your meeting for you, and it's going to give you a list of action items that you need to attack. And so the good thing about this is that you can go back and read it, of course, and the good thing about it is you're not sitting there taking notes when they're talking. You're going to be on camera, you're going to be discussing options with them, and you don't have to take notes. You could just listen and really dive into the pain. Okay? So after the call is done, Granola AI is going to send you the transcript. You're going to take that transcript and then you're going to download it on your phone or on your desktop, and then you're going to go back into Gemini, and you are going to create what Gemini calls a gem. A gem is essentially your custom GPT or your custom LLM. Okay? It's going to prompt you for what it needs. You're going to tell it exactly what you want to do, and then you're going to be able to use that every time you submit your transcript to it. And so for your gem, GEM, okay, it's on Gemini, you're going to ask it to build you a custom gem to discover what AI tools are available that can address the pain that is in the transcript that you send to it. Okay, so it's going to walk you through some prompts, it's going to ask you some questions, and that way it can better understand what you want. But essentially, you want to use that information to create a PowerPoint to deliver to your client. Okay, and so by the end of your discovery call, you want to get them to book another meeting with you so you can go over the PowerPoint. Now, when you go over the PowerPoint, it's going to be pretty sloppy if you just try to create it on your own. But there's another really cool tool. It's called Gamma, and I think it's either called gamma.com or gamma.ai, and it will build your entire presentation for you. Okay, so you're gonna tell your gym to build the presentation and script it for you. Tell it maybe a maximum of 8 to 10 slides, because that's what you get for free in Gamma. And then you're gonna take that prompt and then you're gonna go over to Gamma and put it in Gamma. Gamma's gonna walk you through a couple prompts to figure out what style you want, what colors you want, do you want any animations, do you want any of these things? But you're going to have a really good presentation for your client. Okay, so when you book that discovery, you have your discovery call, and then you're going to book later to go over the presentation. here is where you want to get them to book. So you're going to create the presentation that's going to say, hey, this is the pain that we talked about, and this is what AI can do for you. These are the tools and the tactics that I found, and you're going to set your price. And so when you set your price, you're either going to, I would suggest starting out at something like $500 to $1,000 just to set your price to get it built out. And now there's a few ways to get it built out, and we'll go over that in just a second. But it seems easy, right? It seems easy to pick an industry, build a relationship, and take over a PowerPoint and give them a presentation. And that's essentially all it is. But the traffic component is a little bit tough, because in the day we live in, it's really, really tough to build trust and build rapport quickly, because we get 50,000 spam calls a day. We get a buttload of emails. And so that's going to be your tough part. Okay, so traffic, when we're talking about traffic, we're talking about people coming into your business. Okay, so Alex Hormozi has a really good warm market theory and actionable steps. Okay, you can search it on Google, but I'll give you the overview. So what you do is you break the false belief that you don't have anybody in your warm market in that industry. What you're going to do is you're going to look at all your contacts in your phone, and you're going to just send them a message. First, you're going to greet them and say, hey, what's up? It's been a long time. How's it going? What's new? They're almost going to always ask you what's new with you. And this is where you can jump in and say, hey, I'm an AI consultant for this industry. If you know anybody, let me know. I build platforms to, save people time and money, and everybody wants to save time and money. Okay? Then you're going to go into your Facebook and you're going to follow the same rhythm. Okay? Then you're going to go into your Instagram and you're going to follow the same rhythm. Okay? That's going to give you enough leads to really start generating some traffic. The other way that you can get traffic is finding people that are already spending money to try to grow their business. And the easiest way to do that is going on and figuring out who are running ads. Okay, so you can run ads on almost any platform, but let's take Google and Facebook. Those are probably the two that are the most popular. You could do Spotify and other things like that. But essentially what you want to do is you go into your Google and you search for the Meta Ad Library. When you go into the Meta Ad Library, it's basically a transparency tool that gives you information on who is running ads and how many ads they're running. And then it's going to essentially create an equation in your brain that just suggests that these people are spending money on their business, so they're committed to growth. Okay, so since they're committed to growth, you know that they could potentially spend money with you. You want to really go after people that are going to spend money. You don't want to waste your time with people. Okay, so when you go into the Meta Ad Library, you're going to head into the United States, and if you want to pick a different country, go ahead, but United States, and you're going to select all ads. When you go to all ads, you just put gym in Dallas, or gym big city, or CrossFit Boise, or CrossFit Los Angeles, CrossFit New Orleans, CrossFit New York. Okay, and then it's going to bring up all the ads for you. When you go and you see these ads, okay, many of them are going to say low impression rate, or they'll give you a little tag on them, right? And that's okay, but you're going to want to go into the ads and you want to see about the advertiser. When you go into the advertiser, it's going to give you like their Facebook handle, their Instagram handle, and that way you can reach out to them. It's still going to be a cold reach out, okay, but at least it gives you a place to actually go and find traffic. Okay, so you're going to do that in Google. Google has an ad transparency, Facebook has an ad transparency, so does Spotify, so does other places. Okay, and the other thing that you're going to do is you're going to send you're going to send messages to your local geographical regions. So if you live in these areas, you live in these spaces, you know, they're all competing with other gym owners and that sort of thing. And so just walk in there and let them know that you build AI, you're an AI consultant, and you want to give them you know, a free service to start, you know, to see what's out there, to address the pain points, to save them time and money, and build a relationship with them. Okay, that's the 3 easiest ways to get traffic. Okay, so we talked about consulting, what it is. We also talked about how to set it up. We talked about your traffic, and so how are you going to actually build these things? And that's the developer part, and I can create a video about developing these things. It's not as difficult as you may think, but it just requires some more steps and a little bit more knowledge and maneuvering of things. So you can do Fiverr. Fiverr has AI developers. You can do Upwork, so does Upwork, or you can drop me a message and me and my team can develop those applications for you. And then when we develop those applications for you, essentially we create a partnership, we decide on what the pricing is, and we go from there. And so the cool thing about it is we get to create a relationship, and we get to work together to kind of, you know, help them address their problems, and then in turn grows our community in school. And once we grow our community in school will advertise it to more people, and we just get to help more people together. So this is a quick video, 16 minutes. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment area below. Cheers.